Hey, welcome back. We're on to week 5 of Prepping Data challenges for 2023 using SQL. Today's challenge is all about level of detail calculations and ranks. In SQL, we're going to be doing ranking, yes, but we don't have LODs. We're going to be using common table expressions, or we could use subqueries. So I've moved this all over to Snowflake, and I'm going to go there and I'm going to start tackling this challenge. Okay, this challenge uses week 1 data set, so a good place to start. Let's just select star from table. Let's start up with these questions though. So create the bank code by splitting off letters from the transaction code. So for this, I'm going to use split part, which is a function we used in week 1 to do this. I'm going to do it again here. Okay, so split parts takes my string, splits on that delimiter, which is going to be this dash. I just want the first one coming back, and I've renamed that as bank here, and you can see that column coming through there. Change the transaction date to just be the month of the transaction. We're going to be working with this transaction date. As before, this is stored as a string. We can see this over here on the left, varchar variable character 255. We're going to need to convert this to a date to then tap into some of those date functions available to us in SQL. So let's do that. Okay, so you can see these two here. So this is my string one on the right, versus that to a date. Okay, so I've given it my date function, I've given it my column, in this case transaction date, and then specified a format. Do check your version of SQL, what date formats it allows. So this one works for me. It was a bit different than what I'd seen before, but I had to account for that timestamp as well. You can always just cut off the first 10 characters and then convert that to a date. That works as well. Okay, so I've got this as date, and now I want to turn this into just the month of the transaction. So I'm going to lean on a function called month name. Okay, so you can see that working there. So I'm just going to wrap this in a function called month name. But the first 3 letters of the month is name coming back here. Okay, total up the transaction values. So you have 1 row for each bank and month combination. So I'm just going to go and sum these values, grouping by bank in this date, this month in this case. Okay, so there's my banks, there's my months, there's my values. I now need to do that aggregation. So I'm going to go sum this. And if I'm summing this, I need to go and group my other columns. So I'm going to do group by. Copy in those 2 columns, just be careful to remove any aliases. Rank each bank for their value of transactions for each month against the other bank. Say if I go and order this by month, what it wants me to do is give a rank to each one of these 3 different banks depending on this transaction value. So this would be number 1, this would be number 2, and this would be number 3. Okay, so there's a function in SQL for this. It's called rank, so I'm going to use that. And if you've seen row number, it's very similar in format to that. You want to put it on rank over partition by, order by. So I want to partition it by the month name. So I want this rank to restart every month. Take this. Want then to order this by those transaction values. So in this case, the sum of these transaction values. And as I want this highest to lowest, I'm going to put this as descending. So you can see that coming through here. So yes, this can my first rank, my second, and my third. That's all working as expected. Okay, so these next questions are asking about all the different types of aggregations around these total values and the actual rank itself. So the average rank for each bank. So take this rank and average this by the bank, and then also the average transaction field by rank. I want to keep these 2 columns, but I want to add 2 more columns to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this query into a common table expression. I'm going to use that to then reference to work out these other 2 columns, and then I'm going to join everything together at the end. put that in a common table expression. You can see that coming through here, and I can just query that. So I'm just going to do this first one of average rank a bank has across all months. Got those values coming back. That all looks okay to me. So I want to work out this next one, the average transaction value per rank. I'm going to need different fields in there and I won't be able to keep this result. So I'm going to put that result into a common table expression as well, and then do the next column. Back with my original common table expression, I've just gone and selected from that. I'm now going to find that average transaction value for the different ranks. Rank is not a valid group by expression just because I've missed rank from group by here. So that's result is coming back as well. Just need to go and join everything together. So I start with my common table expression. I can then go and join to the average rank on bank. I can then go and join to this one here by rank. I'm going to put this one in a common table expression and I'm just going to join them all together at the end. Got all these extra columns coming in. And we're just going to now go and tidy this query up as prepare it for the output. Okay, so that's my solution. A few common table expressions, so taking each bit of different calculations, putting them in common table expressions, then joining them together right at the end. Check back next time for week 6.